Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I wanted to talk about something that I find very important and also super relevant actually, considering the kind of environment that we're in, the kind of world we're living in right now. And that thing is, burnout. So I know generally on this channel I want to talk about productivity and motivation and how we can, overcome challenges and things like that, but I think that conversation would be left incomplete if we don't talk about taking care of ourselves and kind of listening to our own body and being in tune with how we're feeling, really. So the reason that I say that this is something that's super relevant for this time obviously is because of the pandemic. For all of us, in one way or another, our world has turned upside down, whether it's not being able to see our friends, whether it's not being able to go to work, whether it's maybe losing our jobs. Everyone has seen some sort of an impact from COVID, and for most of us the impacts have not been that great. Sure, like for example, working from home is great, but what if you're someone who likes to socialize? I mean, work is a big part of socializing for a lot of people, and if you're not able to see your coworkers, you're not able to see your friends either, but you are working consistently and constantly, then when are you seeing people? When are you making time for socializing, the thing that you like to do, right? Or for example, for students, a lot of students obviously are not used to learning virtually, but they have been kind of forced to, under the circumstances, to either study virtually full-time or even part-time, but either way it's something that is obviously requiring adjustment, but it's not ideal. And so whether it's adults or whether it's kids, it's the same idea for everyone. People have not been able to see their family, people have not been able to kind of go about their day in the usual circumstances. People have lost loved ones, so it's been tough, right? It's been an exhausting year, and it's really weird circumstances to be adjusting to, and hopefully obviously it gets resolved sooner rather than later. I mean, there have like the vaccines have started to kind of come out. Hopefully the end is near, but regardless of that, what I'm trying to point out with all of that is just to acknowledge the fact that this year has been weird. This year has been difficult. This year has been very different from most other circumstances that we're used to, right? Now in this situation, obviously, like I said, we are trying to adapt. We are trying to, mold ourselves with the circumstances and change what needs to be changed. And I think we should all just congratulate ourselves to say like, hey, this was a difficult time and we've made it through, so pat on the back for that. But that brings me to the point of this video, which is burnout's real, y'all. Like, we need to acknowledge the fact that this is a weird year. And even if this wasn't a weird year, this is something that would apply at all times, right? But if you are feeling drained out because of circumstances, whatever they might be, whether you're working harder, whether you've taken on more responsibility, you're working longer hours, you've just, things have changed. So this is something that we have to keep in mind, which is, it is important to overcome challenges, yes, but we also have to really be in tune with ourselves and recognize that sometimes it's not about overcoming our challenges. Sometimes it's just about taking a step back and saying, you know what, I need a day off. I need some time. You know what, I will need to take some time for myself, for my own well-being, and I'm just not feeling up to it. So whether this was work, whether this was a social engagement, whether this was a personal project, whatever the case might be, but if you feel like you need to take some time off, just, that you need to step back, put stuff on hold for just a moment, do it, right? So I think it's really important because a lot of times, especially in North America, I think, we do confuse the two, which is like, are we being lazy if we're taking time for ourselves? Are we like, if we got to be successful, or if you got to do something worthwhile, then we got to really like work ourselves to the bone, which is not the case. Like, it really shouldn't be, and I don't think it needs to be. Like, you can take time for yourself and that's okay. First of all, it's important for mental health. Let's just put that out there, right? Like, if you need to take some time off because you're just not feeling up to it, do it. Like, that's important. That, like, you should be prioritizing your own well-being before any work, external responsibilities, because if you're not feeling good, then what you're gonna put out is not gonna be good. And it's just like, for your own sake, just take some time off. Just, you know, do what you gotta do. But so not just for mental health though, right? It's also about, if you're thinking about productivity, that no, I gotta be productive. For example, I gotta end the year really strong. Okay, but if you're tired and you're already drained, how much more productive can you be? Right? So we got to think about that too, that for the sake of productivity even, you might want to take a step back and say, you know what, let me come back to this, because right now I'm not being as productive as I possibly could be. So let me just take a step back. I'll come to this tomorrow maybe with a fresh mind, and then we'll tackle it again. That's okay, right? Now, also what I would say is, I understand that not everyone, for example, gets paid time off, can afford to take time off, or has already taken time off, and maybe they don't have any more vacation days left. Understandable. What I'm saying is not to necessarily, you know, take time off and go on vacation or something like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that just to be in tune with what you need. So for example, you're living with someone else and you need to be by yourself, go on a walk. Or vice versa, you're living by yourself and you are, you know, you're feeling isolated and you're feeling lonely and you want to be around people, but obviously we can't be around people. Where I am, we are in a lockdown, so we can't be visiting people and things like that. Okay, call someone up, maybe FaceTime them, your friends, your family, you know, check up on them when you're feeling anxious or worried about something like that. That's something that is concerning you and disturbing your peace. Call them up. Right? What if you're really tired from work and you're just like, oh, I can't be bothered to do anything today? Okay, maybe don't cook tonight. Maybe just order in, or maybe leave laundry till the next day, or, you know, I'm just giving examples, but it could be whatever applies to you. But the idea is just to be more in tune with yourself, to understand that, okay, you know what, I just need some time off, or this is not gonna be the best thing for me right now, and I'll come back to it later. And just listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your own heart to say, okay, well, right now I'm not in the right space to be able to give my best to this particular task that is at hand, right? And just come back to it. Take a break and come back to it. Because obviously with this year, the circumstances are quite different. Like I said, with the pandemic, it's a strange world that we're living in 2020. But even outside of that, right? Like, there's some times when I do this as well actually, where I confuse, you know, overworking with being productive. But overworking myself is, I don't think, beneficial for me or the work that I'm putting out. I think even if it's good work, I could be doing better. If I came to it with, you know, from a better place for myself, right? So I think it's really important to recognize those moments, those days, those times where you do need to just take a step back, take a moment, take a breather, recenter. Our own health and our own well-being should always be important, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes there are moments when we get carried away with just us trying to keep going, when maybe that's not the best approach. And the best approach in that moment is to take a pause and to take it easy and to just, you know, chill out. Especially with work-related engagements, we do it because we feel like there's going to be some sort of added value to our lives, right? Now, what if, like, for example, if you're working overtime, what if that overtime, the value that it adds, the marginal return that it's giving you, right? So you work an extra day or you work a couple of extra hours, whatever value that added to your life, is that worth the added exhaustion, the added stress, the added fatigue that comes with doing that work? Or is it worth it to just say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to be taking overtime this month. If I'm done at 5, I'm going to finish off at 5, and whatever work is done for that day is done by 5 o'clock, and then after that I'll tackle those emails or whatever else that I have to do the next day, right? So the value that it's adding, is it worth the added stress or fatigue that it will add to your day, or can it wait till later and then you can come back to it with, you know, after being energized? Carve out some time during your day to do what you need to do to make yourself feel better, right? So like I said, whether that's calling up a friend, whether that's not doing anything and just watching a show, whether that's reading a book, whether that's going out on a walk, whether that's sleeping in, whatever it may be for you, do it. Because like I said, like, it's your own well-being is so important. It's so important to the relationships that you develop around you, to the other people around you, to the work that you're gonna be putting out. So for so many different reasons, and just for your own self, of course, first and foremost, right? And I think on that note, I would also like to put out a reminder that we should not only obviously be good to ourselves in this time, you know, take care of ourselves, but also understand that others around us are going through the same thing. And so if they need help and we can help, offer that. If they need space, offer that. If they need a hug, offer that. You know, like, small things that count for a lot. You never know, right? So be patient with yourself, give yourself some time when you need it, but also be patient with others and give others some time when they need it, and give, you know, space when they need it. Be there, call people up when they need it, right? So I think it's a really weird time to be going through this, but I mean, I really, like I said, I hope that the end is near and things turn around and the world is restored back to some sort of a normal interaction, you know, whereas we've been cooped up, you know, inside all this year. So hopefully things get back to some sort of a normal, and, you know, we can go about, travel, see family, friends, hang out, go out for dinner, just, you know, just do the usual, not asking for a lot, but just, it'd be nice. That's all I have for today. I hope that you found this video helpful. Hope it gave you some perspective, something to think about, something, you know, this reminder hopefully makes you think the next time you're feeling drained, to take a moment, to take a breather for yourself. But, you know, you'll get back, but just take a moment, just a moment or two. Thank you so much. Best of luck. And I hope that you're taking care of yourself and of this world. Until next time, Khuda Hafiz.